Good evening, everyone. We have an important update concerning tomorrow's winter storm, as new data indicates that snowfall totals will be considerably higher than we first anticipated. Our confidence is growing that this storm will cause major travel disruptions across a large portion of the Midwest and the Great Lakes. A wide area is now expected to see 6 to 12 inches of snow, but the very center of this system is going to bring a much more significant impact. Cities such as Milwaukee, Chicago, Des Moines, and Grand Rapids are directly in the path where over a foot of snow is possible, particularly in concentrated bands where the heaviest snow develops. Across the most intense parts of this storm, snowfall rates could be greater than 2 inches per hour, which is most likely from Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Snowplows may have difficulty keeping the roads clear, and visibility will decrease quickly as strong winds arrive. Blowing and drifting snow will create conditions close to a whiteout at times, which will make travel dangerous and perhaps even impossible. In this forecast, we are going to carefully explain exactly what you need to know about this winter storm and what has changed in the last 24 hours, which is leading to even more significant snowfall for your area. Now, we have a great deal to discuss in this forecast, including 2 different winter storms that will be affecting the United States over the next 7 days. The first of these storms is going to begin tonight and will continue all the way through Sunday. So let's talk more about this particular winter storm. Starting with what is happening tonight, snow will begin to move into the Dakotas and also into Iowa and Missouri. Most of the snow will be light to moderate at times, but it will certainly become much heavier as we move into the overnight hours tonight. So this view right here is from around midnight. Snow is expected to cover all of Iowa by that time. Northern Missouri, western Illinois, and southern Minnesota will start to see light to moderate snowfall. This will begin to cause some travel issues, but the most serious problems are not expected to happen until Saturday. So, by Saturday morning, the heavy snow is truly going to intensify. Please notice how many dark blue areas we see by Saturday morning across Iowa, Nebraska, and also back over in St. Louis. This is where snowfall accumulation will increase very quickly. And in addition to that, snowfall rates will be up to 2 to 3 inches per hour, which means that snow will accumulate very rapidly in these areas. Then later on Saturday morning, that is when some of the most difficult impacts will be felt across Iowa and Illinois. This is because heavy snowfall is going to become a much greater concern. Very strong wind gusts are also going to be occurring, which means we will have to contend with snow drifts and blowing snow. And this is going to create the possibility of near blizzard conditions across parts of Iowa and Illinois. Please keep in mind that tomorrow is Saturday, which is already a busy day for travel. On top of that, we have just finished the Thanksgiving holiday, so unfortunately, the roadways are likely going to be somewhat busy tomorrow, even though there are widespread winter storm warnings across all of Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. By lunchtime, the snow will be at its heaviest in those dark blue areas. That is in southern Iowa and central and western Illinois. And this is again where snowfall rates will be up to 3 inches per hour. But nearly all of Iowa will be experiencing snow all morning long, which means that the snow will just continue to accumulate. This suggests our snowfall totals in places like Iowa could be as high as 18 inches in some locations. That is just how significant this winter storm is going to be. And over the last 3 years, we have not had many major winter storms here in the Midwest. And this is certainly going to be one of the more significant storms in recent memory. By the afternoon hours, much of the snow will begin to shift off toward the east. One notable development that will be happening during the late morning and early afternoon is that the snow line is going to be lifting to the north. And that is because a great deal of warm and moist air will be pushing up from the Gulf of Mexico. This means for areas like St. Louis and all across most of central and northern Missouri, you will see a transition from all snow over to more of a snow and rain mixture, which means any snow that does accumulate will be very slushy in those areas. Another thing I would like to note is that the northern and western edges of this winter storm are where some of the most significant snowfall is going to take place. So by around 2 o'clock, we're going to see some very heavy snowfall all across central and eastern Iowa and northwestern Illinois. And then the Chicago area will really begin to see things intensify during the afternoon hours. Also, for those of you back over in Milwaukee or southern Wisconsin, you will begin with light snow for most of the morning. It is going to become much steadier and more moderate by the afternoon, so the snowfall accumulation will truly begin to pile up mainly during the afternoon and evening hours. By 4 to 5 o'clock as we get closer to sunset, a lot of the heavy snowfall will be centered over northern Illinois. Most of Iowa will be seeing more of a light snow by this point. And then as we head into the evening hours, the snow will simply be blanketing the entire Great Lakes region. We will still have snowfall in Wisconsin, even by around 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And in northern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and northwest Pennsylvania, you folks will begin to see snowfall by around 10 o'clock. But this low-pressure system is going to move very quickly off to the northeast, and it is going to become less organized, which means snowfall accumulation as we go into late Saturday evening and into Sunday will be much less significant than what we are discussing for the Midwest. So, if you are back over in New York, Pennsylvania, or Ohio, I do not believe we will be talking about major snowfall totals. However, there will be some localized areas that receive over 6 inches of snowfall from this event. And then, late Sunday morning and into the afternoon hours, most of the snow will begin to move out of the United States. The only snow remaining will be mainly across northern New England and upstate New York. There will be a little bit of lake effect snow on the backside of this system across western and northern Michigan and the upper peninsula of Michigan as well. That could lead to an additional 3 to 6 inches of snow. And then as we move into Monday and Tuesday, we're going to have another large winter storm setting up, stretching all the way from the Central Plains back into the Northeast. We will certainly talk more about that particular winter storm in just a moment. Now, the biggest thing that has changed over the last 24 hours is how much snow we are expecting across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. And it is a significant increase. The latest National Weather Service forecast is indicating that we are now expecting a widespread 1 foot of snowfall. Yes, a foot of snow across most of central and eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, northern, and even central Illinois, and back into Michigan and Indiana. This is a very large increase in our forecast. Previously, we were only thinking of perhaps 6 to 10 inches of widespread snowfall. Now it is closer to a 9 to 15-inch range of snowfall that we are expecting to be widespread across all of the Midwest and also across the Great Lakes regions. The most significant of that snowfall will be located near Davenport, where I forecast about 14 inches of snowfall. Davenport will probably be right around 14 inches. Milwaukee could also see 14 inches of snow. Chicago is looking closer to 8 to 10 inches of snow. And then over near Kalamazoo, you will likely see right around 10 to 12 inches. If you're over in Indianapolis, I am thinking around 5 to 6 inches. For St. Louis, you folks are only going to have a few hours of snowfall because of that transition from snow over to rain during the afternoon. So those areas are likely only going to see around 3 to 4 inches. And even then, it is going to be a very slushy type of snowfall in that particular region. And back over in Sioux Falls, you can expect right around 6 inches of snowfall. Here is a more zoomed-in view of the Midwest in case you need a closer look at what you can expect in terms of snowfall in your location. Again, these numbers are quite significant. We are going to be live on this channel tomorrow covering this winter storm. We may even have a short live stream with a question and answer session tonight on our YouTube channel. So please make sure you are subscribed and click the bell icon so you are notified when we do go live. This is going to be a major winter storm. We will have many live storm chasers and cameras all across the Midwest covering every angle of this event for you. Also, this is another scenario that could unfold. This is the HRR model. This is the model I just showed you with the future radar. This model is indicating that we could even see some spots in areas like Iowa or even in western Illinois that receive around 15 to 18 inches of snowfall, with the highest snowfall total being near 22 inches of snow just off to the west of Des Moines. That is entirely within the realm of possibility. So please make sure you are preparing for this winter storm. If you have any plans at all of traveling on the roadways over the next 24 hours, please take it slow, and I truly do not recommend traveling if you are in the Midwest. We already have a very high likelihood of major travel impacts tomorrow across many areas, from Chicago all the way into western Iowa and back over near Omaha, Nebraska. And these are the latest watches and warnings from the National Weather Service. We do have winter storm warnings in effect for any area you see in pink, which is basically almost all of Michigan, most of Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, all the way through Iowa and Minnesota. We also have winter weather advisories in effect for the areas in purple, which extends from Montana all the way into northwest Ohio. So please be sure that you are ready for this winter storm. Have flashlights ready to go as well in case there are power outages. I do think we are going to see some power outages tomorrow with how heavy our snowfall is going to be. And, of course, on the roadways, if you have any intention of traveling, please, I urge you to be extra cautious if you must be out on the roads because conditions are going to be quite dangerous. Now, to give you a clear picture of how hazardous travel will be tomorrow across the Midwest, let's look at the Weather Prediction Center's forecast. This map shows the intensity of the winter storm, and we are expecting major impacts on travel anywhere you see shaded in red. This area of concern extends from Des Moines through Davenport and into the northern parts of Illinois near Rockford. We also see this red area covering Chicago and Milwaukee, where significant travel difficulties are very likely tomorrow. Now, anywhere shaded in orange represents a moderate impact, which stretches from Omaha all the way east to Kalamazoo and also near Grand Rapids in Michigan, as well as through central Illinois around Springfield. And then for the areas you see in yellow, that is where at least minor travel impacts are forecasted, which includes most of Michigan, Ohio, central Indiana, including Indianapolis and also through St. Louis. The most important message is this: if you do not have to travel, please do not travel tomorrow. It is simply going to be dangerous out there. And once again, we will be broadcasting live for most of the day to keep you updated on what conditions look like. So please make sure you are subscribed to the channel and click the bell icon. That way you will be notified the moment we go live. Now, this is not the only winter storm we're tracking over the next 7 days across the United States. In fact, we are likely going to see another significant winter storm as we head into the beginning of next week, which is only a few days away. So what will happen is that as we move into Monday afternoon, we will have some moisture moving up from the Gulf of Mexico and also some moisture coming over the Rocky Mountains. A little mixture of snow and perhaps even some freezing rain and regular rain is possible across the Ozarks and through the Central Plains. There could even be some ice accumulation in Arkansas. This is something that is quite concerning, of course, since Arkansas is not typically accustomed to seeing that much ice accumulation during the winter, so this could cause major problems on Monday. But as we go into Monday night and into Tuesday, this storm system is expected to grow much larger and become far more organized. As these two air masses combine, we could see widespread snow from Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma all the way through Michigan and Ohio. And on the other side of it, right in between the rain and the snow, there could be some ice accumulation in places like Kentucky, Ohio, and even Indiana, Illinois, Arkansas, and Missouri, which means we could be facing some major travel problems as we go into Monday night and early Tuesday morning. On Tuesday, this winter storm becomes even more organized and continues to expand, and this is when we will likely see the most significant impacts on travel. And across the board, the heaviest snowfall accumulation is expected on Tuesday, especially across Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and all the way through New England, where we could have a legitimate nor'easter on our hands by Tuesday. So things are about to get very interesting in the world of weather, especially since we could be looking at our first significant nor'easter in several years. We have not had very many nor'easters that result in a major snowfall event recently. This one truly has the potential to be a major event with widespread totals of 12 inches or more of snow being a distinct possibility. It is not a certainty, but it looks much more likely than before that we will be talking about a major winter storm during the beginning of next week. Then by Wednesday and Thursday of next week, that system should move out of the area. Beyond that, more chances for snow are possible toward the end of next week, but they will not be nearly as widespread as what we will be experiencing over the next 5 days. So if this nor'easter is as powerful as the GFS model is currently showing, there is a real possibility that a widespread 1 foot or more of snowfall would be on the table for areas from Pennsylvania all the way through central and northeastern New England. That would include areas like New Hampshire, Vermont, and even western and northern Massachusetts. But please notice how sharp the cutoff line is between very heavy snowfall and almost no snowfall at all. This is a very typical nor'easter setup for New England, and it could be a reality on Tuesday. However, this is the European model, which shows a storm track much farther to the south and also indicates a lot less snowfall in general, with mostly a widespread 3 to 6 inches of snow and maybe some locations seeing around 8 to 12 inches. So there is still a great deal to sort out with that next winter storm. We are going to have a much more detailed video on this for you on Sunday as we get closer to this event, and we will provide you with many more details. So please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And as a friendly reminder, we have a big Black Friday sale going on at shopmaxvelocity.net. You can use the code Black Friday to get $5 off an order of $50 or more, including items from our brand new top-selling cheese curd collection, which features my cat. We also have a lot of other wonderful items like our Happy Holidays and Supercell merchandise. You can check all of this out by using the top link in the description below. We might be live tonight for a little question and answer live stream just to go over the latest details, but if not, we will